Can you pull my computer back? My face is too big.
You just have a big head.
You're wrong. More. Okay, then, yeah, do that. And then, like, actually, that's all right. Hey, Giovanna.
Hi.
All right, what I did, I actually made it longer because it was only 7 minutes, not 9. So I doubled it to 14 minutes. So
Okay.
people are in meetings right now, I think. But let me try to edit my name first because I'm not in Texas. Been a weird morning. Let me go ahead and share and make sure it works. Share sound. Shoulder. Share sound. And this screen. And let me just see if it works. All right. And you can see that, correct? The can't play for some reason.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally written for some reason.
Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions.
Back here.
Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions
Perfect.
weekly
It should
team
skip
meeting.
perfectly
Let's start.
over once we get to that.
Register at the link shown on the video. Want to earn your trip to the Ignite Sales Conference? Check out our July recruiting contest. Grow your team and hit your production goals for a chance to win hotel and flight accommodations.
We're gonna take that out for next
Finally,
month.
congratulations to Jaden Glasson for winning our book
Tomorrow
contest
is the
by
last
submitting
day.
over 5,000
Yeah,
in
whoever
business.
won.
Enjoy your copy of Pick Money. Welcome to the Just
Okay,
Serve
perfect.
Insurance
It did it
Solutions
just
weekly
fine.
team
Okay,
meeting.
perfect.
Let's
It's good. Let's start here.
welcome
Let's
to the Just
pause. And what I'll do is I'll make it bigger. How do I make it bigger? Share?
You mean like full screen?
Yeah. Do you see something?
I'm looking for it.
Mhm.
If you click on play, does it do that? Does it like goes like
Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Let's start with a moment of focus,
Why is it
keeping
not
in mind the
stopping?
spirit of humility and serving the interests of others. Just Serve Insurance. Welcome to the Just.
There we go. All right. So now it's 4 minutes up. I'm going to start letting people in. I'm just going to mute myself out and press play.
Okay.
Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Let's start with a moment of focus, keeping in mind the spirit of humility and serving the interests of others. Huge congratulations to our top 5 performers for this week, July 22nd through the 28th. Your hard work and dedication are driving our success. Keep up the excellent work. We are also celebrating our outstanding submitters who achieved over 5,000 in AP this week. A fantastic milestone, well done. Looking back at the first week of July, here are our top 5 agents based on issue paid totals. Big news on the annuity front. Congratulations to Heather Robeson for closing an annuity sale totaling 220,000 AP. Incredible result. Let's look at the wins behind our growth. From commission milestones to helping families with claims, our team is putting in the real effort that leads to real progress. Here is a look at your weekly schedule to help you stay connected and informed. Please take note of the upcoming meetings on Discord and Zoom. Our book of the month for August is Pick Money by Sean Maker. Join the discussion on Discord Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Does your family need healthcare? Family and agent group health plans are now available to all. A big thank you to Integrity for this new resource. You can find more details at the link on your screen. Interested in learning more about how we work? Register for our free virtual business overview to see why so many agents have made the switch to FFL. Details can be found at the URL provided. Mark your calendars. The Ignite Sales Conference is happening on September 10th, 2026 in Fort Lauderdale. Free registration is now live at the link on your screen. Here is the general agenda for the Ignite Conference. Plan to arrive by 4 p.m. on the 9th and depart by 10 a.m. on the 13th. All teams are invited to the El Paso Lock-In, happening from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome. Register at the link shown on the video. Want to earn your trip to the Ignite Sales Conference? Check out our July recruiting contest. Grow your team and hit your production goals for a chance to win hotel and flight accommodations. Finally, congratulations to Jaden Glasson for winning our book contest by submitting over 5,000 in business. Enjoy your copy of Pick Money. Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Let's start with a moment of focus, keeping in mind the spirit of humility and serving the interests of others. Huge congratulations to our top 5 performers for this week, July 22nd through the 28th. Your hard work and dedication are driving our success. Keep up the excellent work. We are also celebrating our outstanding submitters who achieved over 5,000 in AP this week. A fantastic milestone, well done. Looking back at the first week of July, here are our top 5 agents based on issue paid totals. Big news on the annuity front. Congratulations to Heather Robeson for closing an annuity sale totaling 220,000 AP. Incredible result. Let's look at the wins behind our growth. From commission milestones to helping families with claims, our team is putting in the real effort that leads to real progress. Here is a look at your weekly schedule to help you stay connected and informed. Please take note of the upcoming meetings on Discord and Zoom. Our book of the month for August is Pick Money by Sean Maker. Join the discussion on Discord Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Does your family need healthcare? Family and agent group health plans are now available to all. A big thank you to Integrity for this new resource. You can find more details at the link on your screen. Interested in learning more about how we work? Register for our free virtual business overview to see why so many agents have made the switch to FFL. Details can be found at the URL provided. Mark your calendars. The Ignite Sales Conference is happening on September 10th, 2026 in Fort Lauderdale. Free registration is now live at the link on your screen. Here is the general agenda for the Ignite Conference. Plan to arrive by 4 p.m. on the 9th and depart by 10 a.m. on the 13th. All teams are invited to the El Paso Lock-In, happening from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome. Register at the link shown on the video. Want to earn your trip to the Ignite Sales Conference? Check out our July recruiting contest. Grow your team and hit your production goals for a chance to win hotel and flight accommodations. Finally, congratulations to Jaden Glasson for winning our book contest by submitting over 5,000 in business. Enjoy your copy of Pick Money. Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Let's start with a moment of focus, keeping in mind the spirit of humility and serving the interests of others. Huge congratulations to our top 5 performers for this week, July 22nd through the 28th. Your hard work and dedication are driving our success. Keep up the excellent work. We are also celebrating our outstanding submitters who achieved over 5,000 in AP this week. A fantastic milestone, well done. Looking back at the first week of July, here are our top 5 agents based on issue paid totals. Big news on the annuity front. Congratulations to Heather Robeson for closing an annuity sale totaling 220,000 AP. Incredible result. Let's look at the wins behind our growth. From commission milestones to helping families with claims, our team is putting in the real effort that leads to real progress. Here is a look at your weekly schedule to help you stay connected and informed. Please take note of the upcoming meetings on Discord and Zoom. Our book of the month for August is Pick Money by Sean Maker. Join the discussion on Discord Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Does your family need healthcare? Family and agent group health plans are now available to all. A big thank you to Integrity for this new resource. You can find more details at the link on your screen. Interested in learning more about how we work? Register for our free virtual business overview to see why so many agents have made the switch to FFL. Details can be found at the URL provided. Mark your calendars. The Ignite Sales Conference is happening on September 10th, 2026 in Fort Lauderdale. Free registration is now live at the link on your screen. Here is the general agenda for the Ignite Conference. Plan to arrive by 4 p.m. on the 9th and depart by 10 a.m. on the 13th. All teams are invited to the El Paso lock-in, happening from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome. Register at the link shown on the video. Want to earn your trip to the Ignite Sales Conference? Check out our July recruiting contest. Grow your team and hit your production goals for a chance to win hotel and flight accommodations. Finally, congratulations to Jaden Glasson for winning our book contest by submitting over 5,000 in business. Enjoy your copy of Pick Money. Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Let's start with a moment of focus, keeping in mind the spirit of humility and serving the interests of others. Huge congratulations to our top 5 performers for this week, July 22nd through the 28th. Your hard work and dedication are driving our success. Keep up the excellent work. We are also celebrating our outstanding submitters who achieved over 5,000 in AP this week. A fantastic milestone, well done. Looking back at the first week of July, here are our top 5 agents based on issue paid totals. Big news on the
That'll
annuity
help you
front.
sleep if nothing else.
Congratulations to Heather Robeson for closing an annuity sale totaling 220,000 AP. Incredible result. Let's look at the wins behind our growth. From commission milestones to helping families with claims, our team is putting in the real effort that leads to real progress. Here is a look at your weekly schedule to help you stay connected and informed. Please take note of the upcoming meetings on Discord and Zoom. Our book of the month for August is Pick Money by Sean Maker. Join the discussion on Discord Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Does your family need healthcare? Family and agent group health plans are now available to all. A big thank you to Integrity for this new resource. You can find more details at the link on your screen. Interested in learning more about how we work? Register for our free virtual business overview to see why so many agents have made the switch to FFL. Details can be found at the URL provided. Mark your calendars. The Ignite Sales Conference is happening on September 10th, 2026 in Fort Lauderdale. Free registration is now live at the link on your screen. Here is the general agenda for the Ignite Conference. Plan to arrive by 4 p.m. on the 9th and depart by 10 a.m. on the 13th. All teams are invited to the El Paso lock-in, happening from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome. Register at the link shown on the video. Want to earn your trip to the Ignite Sales Conference? Check out our July recruiting contest. Grow your team and hit your production goals for a chance to win hotel and flight accommodations. Finally, congratulations to Jaden Glasson for winning our book contest by submitting over 5,000 in business. Enjoy your copy of Pick Money. Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Let's start with a moment of focus, keeping in mind the spirit of humility and serving the interests of others. Huge congratulations to our top 5 performers for this week, July 22nd through the 28th. Your hard work and dedication are driving our success. Keep up the excellent work. We are also celebrating our outstanding submitters who achieved over 5,000 in AP this week. A fantastic milestone, well done. Looking back at the first week of July, here are our top 5 agents based on issue paid totals. Big news on the annuity front. Congratulations to Heather Robeson for closing an annuity sale totaling 220,000 AP. Incredible result. Let's look at the wins behind our growth. From commission milestones to helping families with claims, our team is putting in the real effort that leads to real progress. Here is a look at your weekly schedule to help you stay connected and informed. Please take note of the upcoming meetings on Discord and Zoom. Our book of the month for August is Pick Money by Sean Maker. Join the discussion on Discord Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Does your family need healthcare? Family and agent group health plans are now available to all. A big thank you to Integrity for this new resource. You can find more details at the link on your screen. Interested in learning more about how we work? Register for our free virtual business overview to see why so many agents have made the switch to FFL. Details can be found at the URL provided. Mark your calendars. The Ignite Sales Conference is happening on September 10th, 2026 in Fort Lauderdale. Free registration is now live at the link on your screen. Here is the general agenda for the Ignite Conference. Plan to arrive by 4 p.m. on the 9th and depart by 10 a.m. on the 13th. All teams are invited to the El Paso lock-in, happening from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome. Register at the link shown on the video. Want to earn your trip to the Ignite Sales Conference? Check out our July recruiting contest. Grow your team and hit your production goals for a chance to win hotel and flight accommodations. Finally, congratulations to Jaden Glasson for winning our book contest by submitting over 5,000 in business. Enjoy your copy of Pick Money.
All right, guys, let me stop the noise in my ear. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you for getting your teams on. Today, everybody can see me. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can see me. Everything good? Everybody can see me. Everybody can hear me. Awesome. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you for hopping on. Thank you for having your cameras on. Today, we're going to talk about something. I didn't get a special guest on except for myself, which is not special. But we had somebody this week that brought up, I actually gave them the option during the Discord of what to discuss. What's their biggest struggle this week, or right up to right now, not just this week. What is it that you need the most? And a couple people actually brought it up. So we're going very practical today. We're going back to basics. So if you've been in the business a long time, it might be a great time for you to actually hone in on back to basic stuff, right? Because what happens is over time is we try to get our own little system, and then that system starts to not make us the money we want to make. If you're brand new or you're kind of new, you're actually going to leave here with clear decisions, clear rules, and exact words on what you can use on the phones, because today we're talking about something that's killing production. It drains your energy, you're killing your own production. And what happens is you're staying on the phone too long with the wrong people. And one of the problems we're having with that is, and you have as a new agent, that you start to get better with that as time goes on, is not knowing how to get off cleanly or nicely or in a way that makes you feel good about yourself and about what you're doing. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to focus on that. And especially with the inbounds, right? You have people that you're talking to on a daily basis, if not hourly, that can get hostile, they can get argumentative, they can accuse the ads of being fraudulent, which makes you feel like you're a fraudulent person, and you're not. So we're going to talk about that and how to fix that, and how to become in the right mindset to make that not be an issue. Okay, that's what today we're going to focus on. So thank you for hopping on, and thank you for being here. Definitely take notes, because even if you've been in the industry a long time, these are new. Inbounds are new. And if you're not doing, inbounds, that's fine. It happens with outbounds as well. Not knowing when to get off the phone. The first thing we need to talk about is, why are we getting off the phone? Why are we trying to rush through a conversation when it feels rude, right? If somebody doesn't have enough money, if somebody is trying to be argumentative, the thing you're trying to get away from is protecting your time. You need to protect your time, right? Your time is extremely valuable. And guess what? If we follow the three-legged stool approach, so is their time. So the first mindset that you have to think about is, if I'm staying on the phone because I feel like it's rude, what's ruder? If ruder's a word, pretend it is. What's ruder? Keeping them on the phone because I don't want to feel bad? Maybe I can help them. Maybe, just maybe, they're going to pull $20 a month out of their paycheck every single week. Maybe, just maybe, they need life insurance. Everybody needs it. No, they're not. And not everybody needs it. Your job is to quickly, because you're being rude not to them, you're hurting the client if you try to pull blood from a stone, water from a stone, right? You're actually harming the client and yourself. Keeping that mindset is where you're going to become more successful, where you're going to grow in your production because of time. You're saving your own time and you're saving their time. You're not harming them by getting off the phone early. So it starts with the script, right? The script, if you're brand new, you're following the script to the T. For the first 10 applications, you follow the script to the T. Why? Because that script alone is built so that all the practical and important things are in it. Okay. So maybe there are some times when it's not clear. Here are some clear, like, complete triggers that when any of these happens, you're going to start thinking about, am I hurting the client by staying on the line? Am I hurting myself by staying on the line? So write these down. Some of these are, they're not the decision maker. That's in the script. Maybe, and they can't get the decision maker on the phone. Maybe, just maybe, you overheard them saying, my daughter helps me with my finances, or my daughter is, they mentioned their beneficiary. Let's put it that way, right? And your head said, well, this time it's going to be okay. If Miss Mary's daughter's not there, I can still go through with the sale. I can still help her. She needs life insurance. But you need to stop right there. And you need to dig deeper to if Miss Mary's daughter needs to be there. You have to take the time to make sure that by the end of the call, she's not going to say to you, I really need to ask my daughter about this. Son of a biscuit and gravy, I should have said that. I should have dug deeper way at the beginning, because I just wasted 45 minutes of figuring out what she qualifies for, getting through an application, and she can't decide on which policy to take. And in the end, might Miss Mary call you back? It is a very, very, very rare thing. Yes, she might. But the rarity of that supersedes the actual position that you could have put her in earlier, which was, all right, Miss Mary. So give me a name, Susan. Miss Susan isn't there. I understand that maybe the ad said that this was something that you need to take action now, but here's what I'm going to do. Be the boss. Don't be as hesitant as they are. Be the boss. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you my specific phone number. I've already done that. You did mark it down, right? Perfect. You have my name. You have my number. As soon as you talk to Miss Susan and get her to commit to wanting to go ahead and having a conversation with me, because I am honest and I'm not a salesperson, like I told you before, in the script, guys, right? You have my number. What I want you to do is go ahead and text me or call me, because maybe they're not texters, guys. Don't hold them to the texting thing, but make it easy if that's easier. And I will see when I can fit you on my schedule. Do not make appointments. Do not say, well, Miss Susan's going to be there this afternoon. Okay, she gets out of work at 2:30. Why don't we make an appointment at 3 o'clock? Miss Mary will not answer. Miss Susan will tell her insurance isn't needed, all this other crap. And you're wasting your time, because now you're not on the phone at whatever I said, 3 o'clock or even 2:30, because now you're anxiously awaiting for Miss Mary to call you. And now you're trying to figure out, what am I going to write Miss Mary? Because she's, I already got her birthday. I know we kind of went through the health a little bit, because she told me she just had anxiety and blah, blah, blah. What am I supposed to write her? And now you wasted from 2:30 to 3:15 when you realize Miss Mary's not going to call you back. You just wasted $1,000 by doing that. Do not set an appointment with Miss Mary, and get off the phone and put it in her. Always put your, try your hardest to always not leave it on you. No matter what you're doing, whether it's with an agent or whether it's with a client or even in your personal life. If you're texting your mother and she needs something, for God's sakes, leave it on her. Hey, mom, reach out to me tomorrow at this time, and I'll do my best to make sure that happens for you. Always leave stuff in somebody else's. I think you guys notice the first thing I do is, hey, can you text me this? Or, hey, put this on here. I very rarely leave it on myself to do something, right? Hey, can you text me to remind me to do this? It's purposeful. There's a reason for that. I don't want to waste anybody's time, and I don't have the ability to remember everything and to have a big old honking to-do list, right? And then what my to-do list is simply at the end of the day, I have time on my calendar to go ahead and go through those to-dos, which is just a blue dot on your phone if you are an iPhone user, right? All those blue dots, just go through them at the end of the day. That's it, right? And then do the things in that or put it on somebody else. Don't let a phone call go by if the decision maker is not on the phone or can't get to it. And don't make an appointment. So let's put that in the positive. Get off the phone if the decision maker is not available, even if you slightly hear it, and then put the timing or put the activity or put the option on them, not you. Okay, that's number one. The second trigger or time that you're wasting time and you need to get off the phone is those lovely people. And you're gonna laugh at this one. I think some of you are. Those lovely people who are giving you objections up the yin yang or becoming hostile. They convince you that you are a fraud. You're not, guys. I'm not a fraud. If you need to put that in front of you, do it. You are a licensed agent. You have the license. You have the ability to do this. Nobody else does. Miss Mary's daughter does not. Miss Mary's daughter doesn't know insurance. Miss Mary's daughter doesn't know what's good for them. You do. So if somebody's yelling at you for being a fraud because the ad said this, somebody said to me a couple times, somebody said, can we see the ad? And the funny part is when these ads started, and guys, you don't even know what the veterans are seeing. If you're doing veteran leads, you don't know what they're seeing, right? They're probably, and if you look through your Facebook, because I'm old, I use Facebook. If you look through your Facebook, you're going to see the ads pop up for IULs, for truckers, IULs for this. You're going to see that. And those are the same dang ads that they see, except their mind sees that it's free for these inbounds, right? Their mind says something. They see their whole family, and you know this because you're going to have clients who will tell you what they see. They see the whole family rejoicing because they just got a $25,000 check. Okay. Pause your head and think. They saw their family alive. They saw their family receiving a check. That was actually them. They actually saw themselves receiving a check. Did it say that check was being left for them? No. It says for your family. Did they hear that? No. Just like you didn't hear that the decision maker wasn't there because you didn't want to, right? So they wanted to hear that their family was actually them and they were receiving free money. Guys, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever received something free that didn't have ties to it. Not likely. Nobody's putting a 1. Of course not. Nothing is free. Now, here's the thing. If somebody's on Social Security, exactly, Lenny, never. So why would you think for a hot moment that an ad actually says that it's free? Because they're trying to convince you, because you want to help them, because you think you're a fraud or a scam, or that somebody else is and is trying to get them to think that. That's why, right? So that's the issue. Somebody's becoming hostile, or they kind of start yelling at you and accusing of you. Now I have to decide, if I'm that person, do I want to hang up on them, or do I want to try to convince them that I'm not a fraud? Now you have to do that too. And you have to think to yourself this: there are 335 million people in this country. Put it on a sticky note. Grab a sticky note right now. Put it on a sticky note. 335 million people in this country. Put it up on your desk, on your computer. Cut it if you have to. Because guess what? That one person or 2 or 3 over the day or month or week, I'm not wasting my time on, because I know I'm not a fraud. So I'm hanging up on their ass. Excuse my language. You have a blessed day and hang up on them, because I don't want to waste my $50, $55, $75, $60 on somebody who I don't care to try to convince, and I don't want to deal with attitude, and I don't need to. Right?
Can I ask a question?
In the chat. Will absolutely, right? Yeah, go ahead, Valia. Go ahead, don't type it out.
So I had a guy who I ran into this with yesterday, and he did it like closer towards where I started asking the question as far as like what's his first and last name and stuff like that. And he said the scam part, and I just referred to the rebuttal.
The
And
script?
yeah. So like the would you, if I showed you my state license and stuff like that. So should I have hung up on him, or like when do you
Were you over the
do we
90
use that?
seconds?
Yeah, I was over the 90 seconds.
Then try the rebuttal. But how
Okay.
many minutes am I going to waste of my time to rebuttal that guy?
Okay, so before the 90 seconds, if he tries that, then just dead it
If
off.
somebody's yelling at me, these are people who are calling in, and you're like, this is life insurance, blah, 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 and they're like, and you say to them, the script, this is not a free benefit. I just saw that it was free, and you guys are trying to just pull seniors in and scam them. And I'm like, you know what? You have a blessed day, and hang up on them. Because it's going to get worse. Because then they're going to have to find out what, if you get them to that point of where you're actually getting, if you do, they're going to give you that attitude. Remember, people are defensive. So if you start with somebody and they're like this, and they're trying to put you against a wall, it's not going to ease up. No matter how nice you are, kind you are, what you've done for the world, how much you believe in God, it doesn't matter. These people are jerks, right? Do I want to deal with that person? You
Right.
have that right to make that decision.
Okay.
You are deciding, do I want to deal with this person? And you know what? The truth be told, Valia and everybody else, is there are days, the guys are going to laugh about this, but there are days I don't want to deal with any of them. Like, I don't even want to be on the phones. So I'm going to tell you, on those days, I choose not to be on the phones. If I've got some sort of attitude that I'm holding against myself, I will not dial that day. I will do other stuff that affects my business, but I'm not going to get on the phone if I'm feeling like I just want to kill somebody. Because guess what? You're actually just killing your business, right? Now, if that becomes frequent, you got to figure out what your problem is. You know what I mean? You got to figure out if you're like, you got to figure out you. But these people are, they're going to hop on, they're going to accuse you, and you're wasting your time if you try to rebuttal them. Remember, objection handling sheets were made for outbounding. Objection handling sheets were made for outbounding. Okay. Any inbound that you get, the objections that that are worthwhile to object are I thought it was free. It's right there on the script, what you say. You do it one time only. If they still rebuttal you, how many of you think that it's actually going to have a sale at the end? If you still get through that one objection and then you get to the end when it actually costs them money and you've gone through their budget and they have like $900 a month, how many of you are actually going to have a sale that's going to stick, by the way, one that's going to stick, one that's going to be, where they actually pay it, where the life insurance is valuable to them? You are doing them a disservice by keeping them on the phone, getting a life insurance policy that they can't pay, and in the end, they have to cancel it, which means for whatever amount of months, maybe it's one, maybe it's two, they just wasted their $30, $60, 2 months. Maybe it's $50 a month because the ad says $2 a day, $2 times 30 days, $60. So that, if you can get through, if you do get through, if you choose to get through, I should say, that person who's accusing you of being a fraud and you don't decide to just hang up on them and you continue past that 90 seconds, and then you get to the money part, because that's really all they're calling about, is just to get free $25,000. And you get to where it costs money and you want to push that call into kindly, and you're afraid of just saying have a blessed day and hang up on them. If you're afraid of that and you're okay with wasting 20 minutes of your time and theirs, if you're okay with that, your next step to get out of that call is simply getting to the price point, right? Give them that number. Now, different mindset than outbounding, right? But here you say, the ad is around $60 a month. So you say, looks like it'll cost somewhere, somebody did it this week and you did a great job, somewhere between $50 and $100 a month. Is that affordable for you? And they're like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't even do the $50. Okay, well, at least you know, and this is where I want you to pause and hear me. At least you know, ma'am or Miss Mary, at least you know now what this would cost you, right? So you can stop calling these numbers because they're all going to do the same thing. They're just going to be licensed agents like me. But the good news, Miss Mary, is at least you have my number because you know that I'm honest with you. You're not a fraud anymore, right? You're now being good and kind to her by telling her, stop thinking that these things are free in your own kind way. And then on top of that, you're not making her feel like somebody's out there that's different than you, except you're going to tell her, but the other people might try to sell you something, and I'm not going to do that. We don't do that here on Just Serve. We don't try to sell. We're not salespeople. We try to serve. And Miss Mary, I'm serving you by telling you this isn't right for you. Now, if you ever want to find out your financial situation changes, you've got my number posted on your refrigerator, or have your beneficiary call me. I'd be happy to see if things change in the future. Right? And now you're serving that client, you're helping yourself, you're getting off the phone, even if it's 15 minutes versus an hour, right? You're giving her that number quickly. If she says though, I could do that, but kind of more towards the $60 because that's what the ad kind of said, right? I can tell you I've never had somebody say that ever. But let's say she did. If I give numbers, there's a reason. If I give a number, it's because I want to get off the phone with them. If you hear me say it'll be somewhere between $50 and $100, it's because I just want to get off the phone with them because I don't think that it's going to be a good service to them to keep them on the phone, right? But if she did say, well, I guess I could try that, then I'm gearing more towards the 30 to 50 range when I'm doing quotes later on. Don't ever get to the 100. That's not going to help her, right? Now, that's kind of how that works. So that's number 2, hostile, yelling, fraudulent person. You are not. Number 3, the person who has no urgency, they're just shopping around, and they tell you that from the beginning, shopping around, or they need a friend that day to talk to. The person who will tell you every story in the book, they're telling you their life story all before you get their birthday. Okay, that's kind of a joke, but you get my point, right? That person is the person you want to get off the phone with. But you have to determine, and here are some ways on how to do it. So they're asking you the same questions. They're not letting you talk. They're rushing through the conversation. They just want numbers. What you haven't done is you haven't made it clear to them that you are shopping around with all the carriers. Now, some of you might have a thing in your head that says, well, wait a minute, I'm not contracted with all the carriers. Well, wait a minute, I don't have AAA. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have AIL, right? Oh, wait a minute, I don't have AARP, and we don't use those. Well, there's a reason we don't. There's 2 reasons. Number 1, that carrier that you don't have might be captive. And that's not good for the client. If we continue to think about the 3-legged stool, why would it be good if a company only sells their products? Most of the time, majority, those captive carriers are well more expensive, and they don't have the good service that you can provide. That's not good for the client. And it's also not good for the agent because they're captive. They don't have other options. So bam, there goes that one. Then there's the one that you could contract with, and we don't contract. Why? Well, what you need to know is that you have a CEO who truly, truly cares about you and the clients. We only contract with carriers who follow the 3-legged stool approach. So if we're not contracted with a carrier, it's because they're no good. Either they're too expensive, they have crappy customer service, they don't put you guys in their mind. They hurt the clients, they don't do 100% comp level towards bonusable premium, all that stuff. So if we don't work with a carrier, like AARP, like USAA, all that stuff, it's because it's not for the client. So you need to understand that, and you need to portray that to the client. When you're saying, I'm not a salesperson, I'm a broker. If people don't know what the word broker means, explain it. Do you know what a broker is? Does that make sense? Yes. Do you know what the word broker is? I shop around for all the carriers. I'm looking at all of them. I know that this carrier is not good for him, but you have to trust that. I'll let somebody in, sorry. But you have to trust that, okay? You have to believe in that. You have to believe that all the products here that we have for our clients are the best for them. And if they're not, we get rid of them. Hence, getting rid of Ethos. If you're still writing Ethos, you're basically screwing yourself and your client. Because right now, Ethos is not for your clients or for you. And they've been on like this love-hate relationship with Sean, and I don't understand it, but we are never going to write Ethos again. I can guarantee you, not just Surf. I came back to them. This is true story. I came back to them with high hopes that they had gotten their crap under control. And now, true story, dealing with 11,000 probably plus in debt with them. Why? Because they had agents within themselves calling my clients, canceling their policies and switching them to themselves. Now, could I fight with Ethos? Yeah. Am I going to? No. What I'm going to do, right? I'm making a decision. What am I going to do? I'm going to pay off my debt. I would never want to not pay my debt because that'll affect my relationship with other carriers. I'm going to pay off my debt. Well, Heather, how do you pay off $11,000 in debt? You must have to go to a bank. No, I work harder. I work harder to pay off that debt and set up a payment plan with them and pay off that payment plan. Do I bitch at them? Do I complain at them? Do I try to get that debt reduced? No. I'm going to do my duty to be a good agent and I'm going to pay it off. And I never will use that company again. Ever. And until I know for sure, months have to go by, probably a year. Because guys, the one thing that you don't know about me very well is that if you break my trust, it's really, I will not like I can't. Like that's the one thing. I can be as kind, I can be whatever, but if you break my trust. So that company, I came back to them and then bam, all of a sudden, totally broke my trust. I never will go back to them again. It's going to have to be a long time for me to see them doing good business for me to trust them again. And therefore, when you have new agents coming on in 6 months and you say, well, why can't we have Ethos? So-and-so wrote it. I see it on the leaderboards, all this other stuff. I say, I'm going to say, you do you, because you're an independent agent, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you won't be contracted under me because I will not contract with them. You'll be contracted under your upline above me if you're direct to me. Okay? Makes sense? So, and I don't care. I will miss the commissions because it's not good business. So that making sense, if that makes sense, the people who are shopping around, you need to trust that you're doing the best for them by shopping around for them. But most importantly, even if you believe that and say it, you need to portray it to your clients. You are not portraying that they have an opportunity somewhere else. And by doing stuff like that, and what is that word? What does it sound like? What it sounds like is, let me think for a second. Miss Mary. So I'm looking around at all the carriers. I can't even do it wrong. I'm trying to do it wrong and I can't do it wrong. So hold on. Miss Mary, I'm looking around and this is the best option but this is the best option we have for you. Oh, you just told her that somebody else has a better option and it's not you. Let's revisit that. Miss Mary, I'm looking around and this is the best option I have for you. What was the key word right there? Exactly, Kira. I saw your mouth. You just told her that somebody else has better option. And now she's going to go look around for something else. Now she's going to follow and keep calling those numbers she sees on the screen. I got to let somebody else in. Now she's going to have hope that there's a lower price than what you had to offer. And she's going to say, I need to look around. I need to shop around. Then what happens is, and I know it's happened to you because it's happened to me, is you then say, well, I already did the shopping around, Miss Mary, but now you're on the defense mode versus offense mode. Now you're trying to defend what you said, and now you become kind of a opposition, right? Instead of being ahead of that and saying it like this. Miss Mary, I've shopped around all the carriers in your state, and based off of your health and your needs, name the carrier, so-and-so is your best option. You gave her no room to think that there's somewhere else to go. Now, all the rest of it you have to design as well to keep her saying that keep her understanding that this is her best option based off of her health and her needs. Okay, guys, what does that mean? Health and needs. Her best option is based off of her health, yes, because that's what the carriers do. They look into your MIB report, right? Except for dumb ethos that don't. So when you see somebody getting approved for Ethos with massive health problems, and you're like, yes, I got them day one coverage. What I just learned a couple months ago was that they don't check their MIB report. And that's why your clients are getting approved. And it's been that way for years. Well, guess what? Why I found this out was because they don't pay out when that person dies within the contestability period because they don't want to pay out that money. They don't want to pay your policies out. What they want is for your business. They want that money they just got on that client for 16 months. That is not a good company. That is not something you want to work with. And that's not a viable option for people, right? So we can't lead the client to believe that there's other options out there. And we need to make sure that we're secure in answering the questions properly and not just trying to get them approved for something. Okay. So to get that person off the phone who has no urgency, they're just shopping or trying to kill time, you need to get those things out that you are the one to talk to and you're going to make those decisions by sticking to that part of the script or really highlighting it. Maybe you struggle with part of the script. Highlight the part that you struggle with or you miss because you keep getting that objection and work on that. My famous one was about 6 months, maybe a year ago. I struggled with the banking because I wasn't reading that part of the script. I was kind of thrown off by people really easily, and then I would miss part of the banking. You have that you will have that available to you when we get to the application, correct? And they'd be like, well, it's down in my car. I'd be like, that's fine. And then we'd go on. And then shoot, their husband had taken the car to the store. Oh, I should have just stopped it at the beginning and said, okay, well, what I'm going to have you do, because we can't move forward without anything, I want to make sure that you have everything together. Go ahead and grab that. I'm going to fill out my stuff and figure this out. You go grab that. And then, because the banking wasn't really in the car, that person will say, well, my husband has the car and blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Well, if you have my number, you have my name, you go ahead and give me a call when your husband gets home. Bam, off the phone. Make sense? And you just didn't waste your time. You didn't hurt the client and you didn't hurt yourself. The next thing and the last thing, and the biggest thing to get yourself off the phone is you really just have a gut feeling that you're not going anywhere with the conversation. It could be anything. It could just be a questioning yourself, because that happens too. Am I questioning? And I'm going to go back to what has happened to me. I could go many inbounds, and it didn't happen as much with outbounds because you don't have, like, it can happen. When I was doing outbounds, I was doing 15 appointments a day. That's a lot. Maybe 7 would show up, right? So thinking about that, 7 presentations. Now we're at inbound, 7 presentations. You go many presentations of the client. You want that sale. You want to help that client. And so then you doubt yourself as to making those decisions, delineating when I should get off the phone or when not to. And then you start doubting yourself and you go many more presentations.
Yeah. You see that thing?
Tara, I'm going to mute you. Because your doubt is causing you the problem. But your gut is telling you, I need to, this person isn't really going to buy anything. I can't get, and a lot of it happens in trying to find the why. And you're skipping over that part. You're really not, it's very famous for people to say, including myself at the beginning, well, the why is because they want life insurance, or the why is because their family needs it, Or the why is because they want it. That's not the why. You have to actually find out why. And here's the thing, you're going to start digging in and be like, okay, so what would happen? And that's why those questions are there, guys, is because you can take those questions and build off of them. So let's say the first question is, what does it look like for Miss Susan if you were to pass away yesterday? What would that look like for her today? Make them think about that. Don't be so sensitive. If you're sensitive to that question, you're hurting them. Dig, and don't say pass away. Say died. Guys, this is real life. Everybody dies. Like if this is the only thing, this is the only insurance that's not mandatory that actually everybody uses. Remember that. Everybody has car insurance. They have to. It's mandatory. Sometimes in our lives, health insurance has been mandatory. But not everybody gets into an accident to use their car insurance. Not everybody gets sick to use their health insurance. Everybody flipping dies. So why is that not mandatory? You need to make it mandatory that you find the need. That's your obligation. Finding the need, finding the why. Do not go on in that conversation. And in my original veteran script, you'll see it says, do not flip over this paper if you haven't found a why. Because you're wasting your time. You're wasting their time. You're hurting the client. You're hurting yourself. But if your gut instinct is telling you, I can't find a flippin' why, get off the phone with them. You know what, Miss Mary? It seems as if, you told me that Miss Susan already has $5,000 and, you don't want her to go through with, using her savings, but you think she's pretty well off. She's a doctor. And actually, by the fact that you have no or very, very little income, it would actually hurt you if we had a $30 to $50 bill every single month, correct? Because you don't really have that left over. You just told me you had $100 left a month. If you spent $50 on your life insurance and, your daughter has the money, why would I want to hurt you that way? And she says, well, I really appreciate you being honest with me. I appreciate you, Miss Mary, for listening. What I am going to tell you is since your daughter has the position financially where she can afford this, then what I'm going to tell you to do, what you're going to do, be the boss, is you have my number. It does make sense to me that she gets some life insurance because I always feel like that tax-free money that she's going to get when you will die is going to benefit her family. And I will be your agent. So if she decides to go ahead and buy a policy for you, it totally makes sense for that to happen. You go ahead and have her give me a call. Show your value, show your worth to that client. Because yeah, it makes sense that she gets it. Everybody dies. Now, Miss Mary's daughter, Susan, might say, Mom, I'm good. I can pay $3,000 for your cremation. We're good. She might have $1 million somewhere in an account. You don't know. But at least you got the out. You were able to get off the phone kindly, and your gut told you, I really don't think it's a smart thing for me to help this person. But you will have those moments when that happens 7, 10, 15 times in a row. And you'll say to yourself, am I trying to convince myself not to sell life insurance? Is it easier to get off the phone with somebody than to not? Ask yourself that. Am I making this easier to just not sell life insurance because it's scary? What is it that I'm struggling with? Evaluate that part. But for the most part, your gut is right. You're going through a string of people who truly don't need life insurance, that they can't afford it. It's going to hurt them. Get off the phone. Okay. So those are the 4 different scenarios of when to get off the phone. Staying on the phone with the wrong person, it's not serving them, it's not serving you. You need to protect your time so you can talk to the right person and you can serve them. And you can serve more, which means you're then producing more. Okay. Now, the emotional part of this, a quick, but it's really important. When someone calls you, yells at you, it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Some people are just angry before they even pick up the phone. You don't know. I had one guy, I'll tell you this quick story. I had one guy, this was when I was outbounding, and he was a veteran, which was great because it says the veteran, it says what branch he was in, it said that he was a veteran. And I called him, I don't know, 3 times. That's the rule, right? 3 times. And he picks up the phone. He's like, what the F? I can't say there's a kid on here. What the F do you keep calling me for? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, sir, I have your birthday as this, this, and this. You are in, I think he was a Marine because Marines are angry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. You're in the Marines. Blah, 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 blah. I said, my husband's a retired Navy chief, and maybe you can't say that, but I did. I wasn't afraid to pull it out. And I said, I don't understand why you're yelling at me when you put this request in. And he was like, blah, 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 and he hung up on me. And then he texted me. No, I texted him and I said, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I didn't say that to him. He hung up on me. Then I texted him and I said, all the things I said to you. My husband's a blah, blah. And he goes, I am so sorry. It was not right of me to do that. And he had this long dang text as to what just happened. He literally just found out he had cancer that day. His daughter was about to have or just found out she was pregnant. And now he was told he's going to die in 3 months and he can't meet his grandchild. Guys, you have to have compassion, but you can't, and you have to stand up for yourself. Your job is not to convince. I wasn't going to convince him to get life insurance, for God's sakes. That would be dumb of me. Did I suggest that he do what he wanted to and protect his family and maybe, figure out how we could protect the grandchild or whatever in the future? Yes. Did I ever expect anything to come out of that? No. Did I get upset about that call? No. At first I was like, what the heck? This guy, even though it was an age lead, I didn't care. I was like, dude, you don't need to yell at me. I called you 3 times. Like, you put this request in. But if you do have that emotional roller coaster of when something happens like that, the first thing you just need to do is just walk away from your desk, go outside, whatever you enjoy doing, go play with your baby, right? Go for a coffee. I don't care, right? Like, do something to get your mindset right. If it takes longer than, 30 seconds to be like, ooh, he was angry, then go do something else. But remember, what did you just write on your sticker? I mean, on your sticky note. You did it for a reason. There's 335 million people in this country alone. That's right, Valia. Go to the next call. Just go to the next one, right? Like, just find the next person who wants to be talking to you. Don't sit on it. Don't stew in it. Who cares if they're nasty to you? Find the next person. So what I want you to do this week is focus on listening to your gut. Focus on sticking to the script. Even if you don't follow the script right now, follow it and get out of your own head. You're not a scam. You're not a fraud. You're not, doing something to hurt people if you're following the 3-legged stool approach. And focus on that. Unmute yourself if you're on Discord. Write down where you're struggling. Write down what's happening. Track your activity. Guys, if you're not, I still to this day, you all know I still track my activity. Because if you're doing what's best for you, it's moving on to what's best for your client. If you're not doing what's best for you in your business, it's going to filter into that other leg of the stool. if you have a bad call specifically, and you might have it 15 times in a row, write it down. Some people have been, this has been great. Some people have been sending me their calls. And I promise you all, I will listen to all of them. Send me a call that was bad or good, doesn't matter. Send me a call that didn't end well or started horribly. How can I fix this? Send it to your mentor, send it to your upline, but protect your time, protect your energy, protect your mindset, because that's the hugest part of doing this to see your production grow. That will improve your production, is saving your time, protecting that. And it also helps the client, which is what we aim to do. Okay? Any questions or anything that anybody needs, just unmute yourself.
How do you get the copies of the calls, like the audio?
If you're doing inbounds, there's an area where you can find it. I
Okay.
can't like guide you to how to do it, but I can do a video on how to do it.
Okay. I was
Ki-
looking yesterday and I text you.
Here- Here's the trick, guys. Hey, Kira, can you text me to remind me to do that?
Yes. Thank you.
Right? There's your trick. That's how you do it, right? So Kira's going to right now go text me. It's going to be on my phone to do that.
Yes.
It's huge, huge. What else, guys? Good question. Okay. So we do have, we are at the end of July. Tomorrow's our last day of July. August is going to be a huge month for contests for Ignite prizes, as well as for El Paso. As a reminder, if you win a prize this month, it's going to be reflected in Ignite or El Paso. So if you win a prize and you're not actually registered, it goes to the next person. So make sure you're registered for those two events if you're going to participate in the contest this month, okay? And there's going to be a lot coming out. There's going to be weekly, there's going to be daily. Hop on Discord because you won't win them if you're not there. It's like it's like a contest at your kid's school. If you're not there till the end, you don't win the, I don't know, in my case, it would be a gun because I like guns. Whatever it is, $50 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know. All right. So make sure that you're hopping on, make sure you're participating if you want to participate in the contest. It's going to be a huge, huge month of them. Any questions about upcoming events? Anything else? All right. Well, I'm going to quickly take a picture because I like this. I like this. Good job coming on, hopping on, 24 people. Adam, every day. My purse is here somewhere. You guys have a blessed day. I'll see you guys on Discord. Thank you for hopping on. I hope it helped.